How's it going, everyone? I'm Al, and today I bring you a StarCraft 2 match from the map Grezvan. Our first player here is a Zerg from South Korea. He is Dark. His opponent in the opposite corner, our Terran, also from South Korea. He is Cure. So we have two excellent players on a map which I want to see a lot of, because from my understanding, this is a good macro map. This is a very nice macro map. So we'll see what's going on here. Where's the barracks? Is he gonna go CC first? Ooh. Alright, so CC first builds. The Koreans love to do these, the Korean Terrans. So they'll do a CC and then they'll go into an aggressive, so 3 racks or 2 racks or something along those lines. And they'll push out with a bunch of Marines with a pretty strong economy behind it. Because getting that command center up nice and early means you get workers out just that bit quicker. And you know, in a game of StarCraft where it's all about those seconds, it means a lot. I know for a long time the European Zerg players were actually really struggling to deal with this. Yeah, so it's straight into double gas. This is going to be aggressive. Dark is looking around with his overlords. He sent his overlords on this kind of like scout pattern just to make sure there's no proxies. Still looking around with this overlord just to try to be safe. He is going for nothing too major. He's already been pulling drones out of the gas. He's leaving 1 in now. Yeah, if he's not careful, this could hit him. Okay, so we're only going to see 1 barracks straight into a factory. Alright. So, just so that you know, I have looked at the time on this game, and it's a long one. This is not a series. This is just a single match, so it's going to be a longer one. Be prepared for some epic late game-ness. Yeah, there's the quick third CC. Third CC? That ain't a third CC. Looks like a hatchery. Isn't that a bit gross? Am I the only one that finds the hatchery a little bit gross? Oh, there's a thing in it. I creeped myself out with that one. Maybe this isn't too strange from Cure. I was expecting a lot more aggression, but he's just kind of gone into factory with double Hellion, so reacted factory into starport. Actually, nothing insane. The gas was pretty early. I wonder what his plan is with all that gas. Maybe he wants to go for early Banshees. Alright, so maybe it's nothing too concerning yet. Maybe he did just go for a nice economic opener to counter Dark, because Dark obviously likes to play. Well, Dark plays just whatever he wants to. Dark in many ways is the Zerg equivalent of Gumiho, except that he doesn't always play aggressive. So Gumiho likes to be quite aggressive, but Gumiho just does whatever he feels like. He really plays the game at his own pace. And I think that's very similar to Gumiho. They kind of really just, they don't care so much for the absolute optimal builds. So if you see the European Zergs and things like that, and even in the Korean region, they tend to kind of min-max it and get everything out at the most efficient timing. And Dark and Gumiho, they just don't. But they're good players, they're very strong players. Yeah, so we'll see how this goes. I'm just glad to be having some Dark games, because Dark is an absolute fantastic Zerg player. He has a really great way to kind of read the game, read situations, adapt to whatever is coming from him. Cure obviously a little bit more of your orthodox Terran. He'll do Terran things like he's doing right now, getting his Hellions out, stuff like that, getting a couple of Banshees out. So yeah, it'll be interesting how these two styles conflict. Now, they're both very good macro players. If I had to rate the two, I'd probably say Dark is better. Dark is really up there with the best Zergs in the world. It's been a while since I can remember him winning something. He's been winning a lot of or he's been playing in a lot of online cups, but as far as I know, he keeps getting beaten by hero, which is, yeah, shame, sad for him. Sometimes you have that player that just they've got your number, they just know how to deal with you. I know Cyril and Reyna had it for a long time, where Reyna was the only one who could give Cyril a little bit of pause. Where's the Banshees? Okay, so there's one, there's the other one. So he's waiting for 2 before he sends them out. Cloaking is done. Stimpack +1/+1 is coming up. We're going straight into tanks. 3rd CC. Nothing too crazy. This is going to be a slower start for the game. Dark's already going for his 4th. But we'll see these 2 Banshees kind of just roaming the edge of the map, trying to see if they can get anything done. That is a very early cloak. Like, he could have cloaked there. Maybe he was scared of Overlords. Okay, so Dark has already got some Lings patrolling. He's got his spores up. I don't think there's going to be too much damage. Queens are in good position. Yeah, it doesn't even get the 1. Queens are going to be able to drive that back. Unfortunately, unlike Oracles, Banshees, they don't have shields. So, although to be fair, they're actually invisible, which I think is probably a big advantage. Gets a creep tumor. Not the most Cure would have wanted from this. He would have liked some worker damage just to slow down Dark, because Dark can explode. Although Dark's one of those players, he's super scary even when he's on low eco. Like, he can have a 60 workers and he can make an insane game. 2nd factory. Really? Yeah, it is the 2nd factory. So Cure's planning on going heavy into the mech units, probably just going to get a good amount of siege tanks behind this. The infestation pit is already on the way. Alright, here we see the first couple of Marines moving in. They're going to start clearing out some creep. Yeah, the creep spread so far is looking good. That's the 5th base coming up already. 4th base for Cure. These 2 are they're just saying, yeah, we'll meet you at the end. We'll meet you with our late game armies and see who can take it. Lings and Banes. Dark is super safe. I think this is what they both realize, is that they can't really... Oh, nice. He tried to get the Banes in. Ooh, that's good work from Cure. Dropping those Marines to deal with those Banelings so that there's no threat to his workers anymore. But yeah, they know that they're not quite going to kill each other. So they've got to tech up. They've got to aim for higher tech. And when the bases have started spreading out a little bit. Yeah, there goes. The 4th one is about to land. Worker count's 87 for 76. This is a high worker count game. Here comes the Lings again. He's going to try and catch something. The Bane's lagging behind. At the same time, Cure's going to be double pushing on this side. This base gets cancelled. Dark knows his units are at the bottom, so not much he can do about it. Okay. Hello. I was selected on one of the critters. Okay, Medevac's going to drop into the main base now. Dark is a little bit out of position here. He doesn't really have anything to defend. He's got 6 Zerglings. 6 Zerglings is not enough. Okay, here comes the rest. These Marines going to pick off a little bit. Okay, he has split his army quite nicely, so he's going to be able to deal with the drops on both sides. He's already going straight into Vipers. +2 upgrades coming up for both players. Adrenal glands also. So Dark gonna stay on the Ling Bane Hydra, or Ling Bane for a bit. He actually doesn't have any anti-air except for his Queen, so we'll have to see where he decides to go with this. But yeah, now Cure's made the double factory and he's not actually building double factory units from it. I was kind of hoping he was going to transition into mech, but is he making 3 command centers? Yeah, because why not? Ooh, Lings get a cancel on that one, not too bad. I mean, it's just a cancel, so not the end of the world. But obviously you'd wish to not. Good target firing there. A couple of Marines do get lost. These Banshees trying to get something done, but there is an Overseer going with the Queens. Now the Marines are going to jump on the Queens. There is a lot to help defend, and here comes the rest of the Ling Bane army. So Dark's getting a big army. He's got a lot of links. +2 is finished for both players. There comes the +2. Infantry weapons. Now, yeah, it's done. And adrenal gland. So with all these upgrades, yep, I'm expecting, oh my goodness. How many lings is that? 165. Alright, here comes the Vipers. So, blinding clouds, I assume. This is a big engagement. That's a lot of lings. All of the tanks get blinding clouded. Banelings are going to roll in. Lings are being split between the two bases. And they're dealing damage. All of the tanks go down. That command center, well, that was not a cancel. And actually only 2 workers. That was not a good engagement. I thought that would go better. Ooh. Oh, it's lings. It's just lings. I thought it was banelings. So yeah, I mean, a couple of lings lost, but nothing major. Ooh, ultras. There's ultras. I love the ultras. Ultras, and did I see a Nidus? I did see a Nidus. Very nice. Okay, so Dog's gonna try some trickery to get into the base. Hellbats coming up. Hang on then. Why Hellbats? Ooh. We are transitioning to a mech build. Right? With Hellbats and tanks coming out, there's no more production of Marines. It is mech. Oh, this is glorious. Okay, so we're going to see how the mech interacts with these new Ultralisks, which are a little bit smaller. They're not that much. They are a little bit smaller. I don't know, it's hard to say. No, they are. They definitely are. That should help them, right? Okay, so Liberators, Ghosts. Yeah, Ghost Mech. We haven't seen Ghost Mech in a while, so here we go. Spire on the way. Doc already getting ready for his next step of the plan. I did not know where that sentence was going halfway through. Pathogen glands as well. That's the energy upgrade for the Infestor. Blinding clouds going down. Here comes the Lings. Here comes the Ultralisks. This is a decent engagement. This planetary is going to go down. Ultralisks do hit nice and hard. A couple more tanks. The mech army is going to be slowed down, but I think Doc's going to lose all of his ultras in the process. So yeah, 12 workers and a base going down. But did cost a little bit. At this stage, Dark is okay to throw his army away a little bit. He does have more bases. He does have 101 workers. So yeah, he's just going to keep throwing wave after wave at the Terran player. And at this stage, we're just seeing tanks, ghosts, and Hellbats. I like this. So it's all about the split here for Cure. He's got to be splitting his army decently to make sure that he's able to cover as much area as possible. Because Dark's just going to be rotating. Maybe he attacks in at the same spot, but I doubt that. He's going to be rotating because as a Zerg player, you have to take advantage of that immobility of the Terran army. Yeah, the mech army, it's not fast. Okay, so he's attacking in at this side and Ling Bane's coming down on this side. Now it's which engagement do I look at? So the mech is going to move this way. Ghosts are already getting rid of the ultras. A lot of workers. That's 31 workers going down here. Workers going down on this side as well. Ghosts getting some snipes off. So once again, a lot lost for Dark, but that's 48 workers that have gone down so far in this game. Well, 37 just in this little engagement. That was very good. Dark is on the doorstep of Cure. But yeah, once again, masses up Lings, masses up a couple of ultras. Actually, not that many. So I think he's trying to avoid the ultras because he knows ghosts are out already. Ghosts counter ultras so hard. Oh, that's a lot more workers going down. Lings are running around, trying to get into the main base. They're not going to be able to. Supplies have evened out a little bit. So Cure's got a superior army supply, like very superior. But he is, yeah, he's got a lot less money. These Lings also getting a couple of mules. That's fantastic, as well as lifting that base. Cure's being run around a little bit. But his army is going to be very cost efficient. It's a double spire play, so I think we're going to go into Broodlords. Bunch of Infestors. Can it be? Because Ghost kind of Broodlords too, which kind of feels bad. Yeah, but it's 10 Corruptors. That means he has to be going into Broodlords, because the Corruptors, unless he's really planning on using them to get rid of the Liberators. Does that make sense? Is that worth it? So it's not actually that siege tank heavy, this mech army. It's more the Liberators. The Liberators obviously were changed up, which makes them a fantastic siege unit right now. They are able to, they don't have the splash of a tank, but they definitely deal more damage. Bunch of links coming in once again, getting rid of a couple of workers, and then running through tank fire and, ugh, ouch. Did not enjoy watching that. That was painful. This base is being denied by a single Zergling hiding under the ground. Yeah, I like it, but yeah, it doesn't necessarily make sense. So there comes the Broodlords. Cure's gonna already be ready for those. I keep saying that, already be ready. For those Broodlords that are being morphed in at the moment. Sending in a couple of helmets just to deal some damage. They've got blue flame, makes them pretty strong. And this base is actually not going down. Yeah, okay, with the Broodlords coming in, I think there's definitely a little bit of a fear towards those Broodlords. This is a massive engagement. Oh my goodness. And the Zerg comes rolling through. These Liberators are actually posing a bit of a problem. Yeah. Now we see more Ultras. Dark just keep hammering down on those 3-3 units. EMP down on the Infestors, and a couple of snipes go down on the Broodlords. Good work there by Cure. Nice little micro with his ghosts. If we have a look at this graph again, oof, it's a lot of resources lost. Lingbane attack coming in this side. The Broodlords are going to start trying to work on everything that is here. Thors are coming out. There are tanks. Slow pushing forwards. This base did get cancelled though by Dark. This is all over the show. Oh, okay. Ouch. Loses a couple of ghosts for cheap. I love the spore crawlers in front. That helps to see those cloaked ghosts, just so that the Broodlords have a little bit of extra protection. Upgrades, almost fully upgraded for Cure. Dark is still trying to get his air upgrades as well as going into range. Gonna attack in once more. The Swarm Host that just runs to its death. Mech Army and the Ghost get pushed all the way back, which means that Dark can put a little bit of pressure, but actually not even that much. So he's going to try and move the creep forward, keep pushing into this position. He is in a massive supply lead, and I think this is the problem. Cure's going to have to take the best traits in his life because he is down on mining quite heavily. And yeah, without the mining, he's not going to be able to replace this army if it gets damaged. Broodlords, by the way, they did get a big change. Their Broodlings don't last quite as long, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, they do a little bit more damage on the initial hit, and they are a little bit quicker, that's pretty significant. Ultras, gonna see if they can keep that orbital from lifting, but here goes the snipes, bang, bang, bang. All right, that's a difference too. With the Ghost, if the Ultra goes out of range, the snipe is cancelled, so yeah, you see, if you just move them away quick enough, if you're awake with your control on your Ultras, yeah, you can keep them alive. Still haven't seen a Nidus work yet. So the Nidus was built but has not been used yet. I think Dark's just gonna try continue pushing this area with his Queens, with his Broodlords, with his Lingbane Ultra army. These are some serious late game armies, and this is where both players become very tricky to break, because Dark is, how do you attack into this with these Ghosts, the tanks, the Thors? It's a difficult position to attack into. And Cure, he just can't leave his base. So he's got to do the slow push with his Liberators and his Siege Tanks, which I think is really cool. But he's going to be running out of minerals very soon. Dark is essentially doubling the mining than what Cure has. And that's significant, especially in the longer game. So you can see the pools. Ooh, ow, ow, ow. Spore Crawler's getting damaged. Okay, here comes the Broods. They're trying to get a couple of the tanks out. Want to avoid the Ghosts. The Ghosts, they just come in, they snipe, choop, choop, choop. And then they run away. A couple of Ultras here in the main base. They are going to be taken down by these Liberators, but that is a lot more workers that go down. Broodlords trying to get some of the Thors away, but they are being hit by those Thors. Thors obviously outrange the Broodlords. Whew. We're in a 20-minute game, and I can't tell you who's going to win this. This one is so tight. I think Cure's eventually going to push up into this position. But yo, what does he do after that? Because his resources, I mean, he's out here. He's out here. This space is almost out. This space is pretty much done mining. And this one is very close to empty. So, ooh, nice fungal there. If Cure doesn't get a decent engagement soon and get some mining up, he's going to be struggling. Stark's still got a lot floating behind this. He has lost all of his Broodlords, which is obviously not fantastic. Oh my goodness. The cost efficiency here of this mech army. Look at that. 10,000 minerals different. And about what, 4,000 gas? Ouch. Okay, the base does finally land. And those mules, they're going to be doing a lot of work. The entire Zerg army, along with a bunch of drones, is now moving around. No point engaging in this army. But yeah, you can do that. You can try to get rid of some of these Liberators. I think that's the problem at this stage. The Liberators are doing a lot for Cure. They're helping him to stay in this game because they are dealing a lot to these Ultras. Obviously, they can deal with the Lings and Banes too, but definitely they like attacking into those Ultras. Doc gonna move across with a second force now into this base. Not much mining left in this base though, so, and I don't think Cure's really replacing too many workers. +3 flyer upgrades is coming up. Yeah, Cure is fully maxed out on upgrades. He's in a good upgrade position. Push a little bit forward. Yeah, I think this is good. If he can get in this position, because this is a nice, easily defensible position. He's got a bunch of defenses on this side. And now being able to push in here means he can get to mining these bases. At the same time, Dark is just taking base after base. What is he on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's got 3 macro hatch, well, 2 macro hatcheries in his main. Okay, they're gonna deal with that. And the Terran is advancing forward. This base has been destroyed. Dark is now going to need to defend a little bit against this Terran push that's coming in. So Cure at this stage is just pushing with a couple of units at a time, not sending his entire army, just trying to push a little bit forward. Dark also quite a quick abandon of that base. Maybe he was scared the mech army was on the way. And he doesn't quite want to engage just yet because his army is a little bit lower tech. Although that's a lot of Broodlords and a lot of Infestors. Broodlord Infestor, really? Are we back there? Although they don't have infested turrets, which I guess is a good thing. That was a crazy time of StarCraft. Broodlord Infestor, when they had the infested Terrans and they would just keep throwing infested Terrans everywhere. That was pretty insane. I think it's a good ability that it's gone because fungal growth is a strong ability, and obviously neural parasite pretty good too. Okay, Cure has now got 2 extra bases up, and at this stage he's actually in the lead for mineral mining. Oh wait, granted, that's a lot of mules. Couple of Broodlords, I think that was 2, might have been just 1, do go down. This is also really good for Cure because now he is attacking off of the top, or off the high ground, which he's obviously going to like. Broodlord's going to try get hold of a tank. Ooh, good fungals going down on that army. That means the Broodlords are going to have a nice time. A couple of blinding clouds. This is a difficult army to control for Dark. but he's doing it so well. Controlling 2 different types of spellcasters while babysitting your Broodlords. Yeah, that's not easy. That is definitely not easy. He has quite freely acquired this base, so he could send a bunch more workers on that way. Kyo has been replacing his SCVs, so he's actually got a decent economy going now. Yeah, when the mules time out though, he obviously does drop back. Bang. Ooh, Thors really punish Ultras. Here we go. We're gonna see a big engagement coming soon. I still would like to see the Nidus. Just use it to get in behind, pull the army out of position. I guess it's easier said than done because... Oh, good yoink there. Because there's so much vision from these sensor towers. So Dark should be able to... Well, Kyo should be able to get rid of that. Any aggression pretty quickly. Both players maxed out once again, and now they're in that kind of stalemate position like, okay, who's going to attack and who? They've both got very solid, strong defensive positions. And, nice try. Okay, Broodlord's going to start picking off things from this base. Trying to stay out of the range of the Ghosts and the Thors. Yeah, just picking off a little bit here, a little bit there. Mech Army's going to push down south, at least a portion of it. Uh-oh. Neural's going down. Big Neural's going down on everything. This position is going to be broken. There are more Infestors than there are anything else. That's 2 blue Thors fighting against each other. Not something you see every day. Yeah, I like that. That was a very good move. You see, Infestors are pretty strong, especially against this Mech Army. Cool. That's more Ultras going down. You hate to see that. Unless you're a Terran, in which case you love to see that. It's a lot more Broods in the air. More Corruptors. More Infestors. Ooh, good Neurals. Good Fungals. Couple of Ghosts going down, and those are very low out. As far as I know, there's no real healing. Oh, never mind. There they come. Come to heal up the Ghosts. That was much needed. Alright, pushing on to a 30-minute game right now. There's a lot of Thors. What do we have in terms of the units? 4 tanks, 1 Liberator. So he's lost a lot of Liberators. 10 Thors. And 8 Ghosts. More Thors than Ghosts, actually. That's quite funny. But yeah, with the detection and with the Infestors, Kyo's trying to not lose his Ghosts to Broodlords. Because when you lose those Ghosts, the game is pretty much over. Yes, the rest of the army is not bad. It's a very strong army. But I think the Ghosts are kind of that stable unit that kind of pulls it all together. It's what makes Mech viable these days. Especially in the late game, in these longer games. Circling, Baneling, run by, picking off a couple of Ghosts. That's always good. Making this base lift. It's not the biggest deal in the world, considering that it's not really doing that much mining anymore. If I was Dark, I would want to aim for these, but I think he's just taking what he can get right now. Ooh, good Fungals. Chaining again once more. Getting rid of a couple of Ghosts. He's sitting on... Okay, so he's been rebuilding, so he's on 9 now. Dark is still supply capped. He's maxed out, but not supply capped, maxed out. Cure. Now he is. Never mind, everything I just said doesn't matter because it just changed around. That being said, you got to remember, Cure's making 2 Thors at a time and they are very supply heavy. This is such a strong army. If Cure's able to start marching across the map, I think he can deal a lot of damage because he has vastly superior army supply. It's 154 to 129. That is a big difference. Broodlord's gonna come in and get like, hello, trick you. Get 1 Thor. Anything that he can get is very good. The banks are relatively small. Well, you know, the gas bank is relatively small for Cure, should I say. Dark has, I don't know, how many remaxes is that? There's probably 1 remax. 1 remax and a whole ton of Zerglings. It's a lot of Infestors. So many Infestors. Couple of good fungals going down, trying to get on the Ghost. He does get a good fungal on the Ghost. Ghosts are marching forward. They're trying to get a couple of snipes off, but they have to go very deep. And here comes the Banelings. Obviously, Ghosts are terrified of the Banelings. With the Ghost out the way now, it's a lot of Ghosts that went down. Okay, he's not actually going to collapse on those Thors. I thought he was going to. Oh, that must have been a good EMP. Those Infestors have almost no energy. Kyo is losing a lot of army supply, replacing with 10 Ultras. 11. Woo. I don't know how the Ultras are going to do against the Thors, because Thors they're pretty strong. Here comes the Terran marching forward now. Kyo realizes that at some point he's got to do something. EMP goes down to get rid of the last energy from those Infestors. And now Dark needs to defend. He needs to defend so hard. If he can crush this army on his own turf, then I think he's going to be in a good position. It's not going to be easy though. This is a big mech army. It's a lot of Thors. The siege tank is now also coming in. Dark's going to try to play it very patiently. He's pulled his army all the way back. The Broodlords sitting on this side, trying to make surrounds with his 1,000,000 Ultralisks. And that's going to turn the Terran around. Terran's going to be relatively happy with the damage, but being turned around by those Ultras, obviously not an ideal situation for him. And this base is up and running. The mining is this map is almost mined out. Every base has been taken. This is the only real base with a lot of minerals. Yeah, that one's pretty much empty. There's a couple still. But yeah, this base is pretty important. A lot of spine crawlers poking away. At the same time, we see Ultras coming in this side. That Liberator is having a great time. This base is going to be blasted apart by those Thors. Ultras, ooh, they're jumping onto the Ghost. That's a bunch of Ghosts being lost for relatively free, relatively cheap. This base gets stopped, this base gets cancelled, which means Cure is on 0 mineral mining. And he's on 153 supply, which means, yeah, there's not too much more in the way of upgrading his army. Dark's not supply maxed out. Getting a bunch more Corruptors, so Broodlords I assume. I think at this stage I prefer Dark's position, right? Because Cure he's got nothing. Dark still has, well, he doesn't have this base anymore. He is trying the command center, the orbital flying across. Please don't get destroyed by the Spore Crawler. It's gonna have to wait for that creep to go away. Here's a couple of Zerglings going in once more. Bunch more Zerglings on this side. A couple of Hellbats are going to be able to stop them. Okay, mech armies moving down south. Oh, big fungal goes down. Obviously fungal does also deal a little bit of damage. It's not insane damage, but it is damage, and if you get them chained a couple of times, that's pretty good. I think this is it. I think we're getting ready for our final battle, our final conflict between these two. What an insane game. These two just trying to outmaneuver each other with their absolute top tier units. Big blinding clouds going down. That allows the Broodlords to get a couple of shots in. Forces those Thors to go back. Broods are still pretty decent. The control of Dark here is insane. He's microing all of those spellcasters plus his Broodlords. He's doing a ridiculous job here, and this is a strong Terran army. This is a very strong army. Heroes on 10 workers, that's so sad. And I think all 10 of them are done yet. Eek. He's starting to bleed a little bit. These Infestors have a lot of energy. There's not too much more Ghosts left. 10 Ghosts, 9 Thors. 10 Marines, who knows? Oh, they're mixed in here. But yeah, I mean, Dark's mining now is pretty low, so he can't afford to be too reckless. But that is a good way to engage, taking out a couple of Thors just with Broodlings. Here comes the Banelings crashing down onto this army, and I think Dark is just going to demolish it. He's going to neural parasite a couple of the Thors, use them to kill each other once again. The Broodlords can now move in. The Ghosts are still alive. They get rid of the Vipers, but yep, their time is limited. Cure on 50, 40 supply, 49 supply. And a couple of Broodlords I think are going to be able to clear this. Zergling's on the way with a couple more Ultras. Yeah, he's going to have nothing. At the same time, these Ultras are starting to chomp down the natural. Cure is just losing pretty much everything. Uh-oh. What are you guys doing? Boom. GG after dark. Neurals, a couple of Ghosts. That was a really good game. Very nice and exciting. Whew. Long one, but we got to see the top tier units for both races battling and duking it out against each other. I hope you enjoyed this game. I really liked it. Nice and long one. But yeah, if you did like the video, subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.